What's happening, guys? I had kind of went off the radar there for about a month, but I just wanted to make a quick vid to let you guys know what's happening with ScottCast. It is still alive. We are still here. So I'll fill you in. Stay tuned. What's happening, guys? I didn't want my 13 subscribers worrying about me, so I thought I would put an update video on so you guys can sleep easy. I started the business, which I've already mentioned in a previous video, my online business, and it is a fuck ton of work. The It's just that I'm working a normal job, and then maybe doing 6 or 7 hours a day towards my own online business. So I enjoy doing ScottCast, but the original format that I had kind of set up of showing a lot of different clips and talking about a lot of news stories every week just isn't viable at the minute, just because of time constraints and stuff like that. But I do want to keep ScottCast going, so it's going to take a slightly different form. I'm going to stick with my original plan of interviewing anybody interesting that I come across. But yeah, I'm not going to have time to fully produce something like the way I did with the first couple of Scottcasts. So I'll probably do more video log style kind of stuff for a while. I just accepted a job in Moscow, so I go to Russia in September, so that will be interesting. I'm sure I'll also have some interesting things to tell you guys about that experience. But yeah, I literally have so little free time at the minute that I'm currently filming this while having my morning smoke and coffee. And then after this, I'm going to get straight back into working on my online teaching business. The world's changing. I have set up a website as my base to send potential customers to and to get them to sign up to my email list and stuff like that. But Instagram actually seems to be where it's at. I've already connected with a few teachers that teach online, and one of the best ways to find students and to connect with people is actually through Instagram, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, I've been working on my Instagram game for my teaching site. Obviously, ScottCast Instagram is basically non-existent, but I do want to come back to ScottCast at a later date and have more time to put into it and continue to develop it and stuff like that. But it's not something that is likely to make a massive financial return, if ever a financial return. And although I don't really like thinking about things in those terms all the time, I'm really kind of focused on getting self-employed online so that I can just continue to travel as much as I want. Just stay somewhere for a month, 3 months, 6 months, and then move on to the next place that takes my fancy. So yeah, as far as ScottCast goes, unfortunately, the other things are kind of taking priority at the minute to give myself the financial freedom. But once we get to that stage, once I get my financial freedom, then stuff really gets interesting, because teaching English online is just my first business venture online, because it's currently my most marketable skills. So yeah, I'm going to lead with that, but I'm also getting quite good at graphic design, web design, understanding social media and how it works, so possibly social media management and various things like that. So I have all the ideas, but yeah, this is me in the grind, like really in the grind. Scott has been incredibly helpful though. All the stuff that I learned when putting together the first 3 Scottcasts really helped when it came to setting up my website. Even just the basic parts of graphic design and photo editing and just various things. Like, so I mean, ScottCast has already been incredibly helpful to me, even if we still haven't really managed to get much of an audience off the ground. Notice that I say we. I say that a lot. I started that with ScottCast, even though it's named after me, and it's clearly just me in my bedroom. For some reason, I kept saying we, and then I've marketed my teaching business exactly the same. So I don't know. I think my brain's just went into like business mode or something like that, which is not my natural instincts. I don't know, traditionally I suppose I'm like pretty left, socialist, liberal, blah blah blah, you know, all those categories that don't really appropriately apply but are the closest approximation to describing various schools of thought that I have. Like, but now that I am thinking about my own business and getting things up and running and stuff like that, I seem to look at almost everything through the lens of business and marketing and stuff like that. It's actually a very interesting field. I've always been interested in psychology, but the psychology behind how business works and how the stock markets and stuff like that work are incredibly interesting, because it reflects a trend that's happening in the world in general at the minute, where it's not important what's true, it's important what people believe, which is always something that I've had a major issue with. I'm like a truth through and through kind of guy, so it's not generally something that I like, but from the point of view of psychology and how it all works, it's very interesting. It's basically just a game of psychological manipulation, business and marketing and all that there general kind of stuff. But I really like Gary V. Anybody that is interested in starting their own business, entrepreneurship, all that jazz, has probably already heard of him, because he's just the guy, but he has a lot of interesting points, and it's not quite like traditional marketing. It's all about value, the value that you bring to your subscribers, your viewers, your followers, whatever it happens to be, and you give that value beforehand. You like just give as much as you can to the community, and from that you'll grow your influence and you'll get more paying customers and things like that. But the man's a genius. He has what he calls the 180 trick, which I'll break it down very quickly. It's a play on the metaphor to give your 2 cents. And essentially what you do is you go on to Instagram and you look at the top 9 posts in the top 10 hashtags in your related field, and go through the top posts, look at them, comment constructively, like be actually genuine in your comments and interact and stuff like that, and continue to do that, and you'll make connections. But anyway, I was reading this article for the second time yesterday morning, and I didn't even do the 180. I didn't even do as many as he suggested, but I started speaking to a fellow teacher who has an Instagram with 8,500 something followers, and struck up a conversation with her, and we end up talking for a good couple of hours, and she in fact pays somebody to do her editing and various things like that, which is something that I can do, and then she's got a fan base and stuff like that, so basically we've made the connection that I think will be mutually beneficial to both of us. But that was just one tip from Gary V in the morning time, and by evening I had made my first really good business connection, and it didn't really require that much work. I don't count the 2 hours that I spoke to her afterwards as work, as looking for it. So you mean to actually just start the conversation 10 minutes work, just being genuine and making genuine comments about what I thought about her page and the style of her thing, and yeah, I don't know. So yeah, things are kind of changing in that world. It's all about social media at the minute, and as I was saying to my good friend G for Gold yesterday, uh, uh, the clues in the name, social media. So be social, talk to people, interact if you're wanting to try and grow and develop your brand or your business. See, that's what that's what I was talking about. I just it's just rattling around my brain constantly now. This business way of thinking. Um, so yeah, but I suppose you gotta grow up someday, and if you want the financial freedom and don't want to have to rely on someone else for your income, then you have to think about these things. You do have to get into it if you want to be successful. How you classify success is obviously you set the standard for what success is. For me, just having enough money for a reasonably comfortable life and being able to continue to travel is all that I want. And I say reasonably comfortable because I mean, if I can live nearly anywhere I want, feed myself, and have a little bit extra money to go and do occasional things that I want to do, that's success for me. Not having to rely on anybody else for a paycheck, that's success for me. Because things are changing. I just mentioned G for Gold there a minute ago. One of my very best friends. I've known him half my life, and he is deep into the cryptocurrency game. I myself dabble, but I just for fun. Really, it's not something that I focus on. However, the technology that it's connected to, blockchain technology, is going to change the world. It already is starting to do so, but that's only going to continue and accelerate at a pace that's going to be shocking. It's only recently that I've realised how big an impact it's going to have, and I still seem to be relatively early on that boat of appreciating just what might be coming. I, I don't even know what's coming, but I know that everything's going to change. There's going to be a lot more, everything's going to move towards being peer-to-peer. We're going to essentially cut out a lot of the middlemen because of the internet and the changes in currency and technology, where there isn't really any need for the middleman. So you just offer your service, whatever it might be, directly to the customer. So that's another benefit of getting into online teaching or online making money online, because it's just getting into the game early. I would say in 50 years time, and that's a long time away. In 50 years time, nearly everybody's going to be making their money online, and 20 years, I would say we'll see a large chunk of that. So yeah, the world is changing, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which, I'm also going to learn to program very soon. Well, hopefully very soon. I'm going to start doing the basics soon, but it's another thing that I don't have a massive amount of time to commit to right now, as I still try to increase the initial viewership growth and YouTube channel that's going to be connected to the teaching business. But I'm going to learn the basics, and then when I have more time, I'm going to learn to code, because it just gives me so much more opportunity for earning potential. And again, it connects to what I was just saying, it's the direction that the world's going. It's going to be like maths and English. It's going to be like entirely necessary to be a fully functioning member of the modern world very soon. I seen something recently that said within 10 years there are only going to be 20% supply of the demand for computer programmers. So only 1 in 5 jobs will be able to be filled by somebody that's qualified enough, which means that is going to drive up the wages of computer programmers even more, and I think we already know that computer programmers make alright money. So yeah, I would recommend, again, to anyone watching, anyone else, get on that shit. It might seem challenging at the start, and I've had a look, and you know what I mean, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but it can be done. It's logical. It's, if your first language is English, most of the tags and the way it works are English anyway, so it's like learning a new language, but not as difficult. So yeah, I'm going to get on that, and I would recommend anyone else that's wanting to seriously improve their employment / business prospects to get on it as well. World's changing. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but I fell on my face, which was quite funny. So I was doing a crow. I'm big into my yoga, and crow's my bread and butter. I've been doing it for years. In fact, hold on. Okay, so that, except without the one leg part. The one leg part was just to show off and to show you guys that I perfectly comfortable with it. But was at a cocktail festival on Monday, and we were on the grass. We had been drinking a little bit. That's fine. But I thought, yeah, it's weird. Every time I drink or smoke, I generally want to do yoga or handstands. But so I go up to go into it, no problem. Too much confidence, went up too fast, kept going, straight over, nose right into the ground, just bang. And I mean, I've been doing yoga for 4 or 5 years, and that is the second worst smash that I've had. I'll actually try and find the first worst smash that I have. I fortunately have it on video, and I'll, in fact, hold on. On your face. So that in picture form is the perfect representation of the metaphor trying to run before you can walk. I've always been interested in the slightly more aesthetically appealing moves and stuff like that, and I've been trying things before I was ready, but I'm here and I've got that down quite well now. And yeah, I mean, there is a lot of truth in that. You need to look at the fundamentals and really focus on the fundamentals, but push yourself, have a bit of fun with it, and you fall on your face sometimes. That's life. And that's basically everything. That's you guys filled in. So one more thing just before we finish off, in honor of me going to Russia next year, and in memory of the original couple of ScottCasts and the idea behind them, I have a couple of videos that I want to show you. So, as I'm sure most of you are aware, there's a bit of a perception around the world that Russians can be a little cold or standoffish, and the Russian government isn't unaware of this fact, so they've got classes to sort the problem out.
Russians will even smile at you. Ahead of the World Cup, train conductors here have been taught to forget the frowns and give foreigners big shiny smiles to match the big shiny new stadiums.
Genius. You couldn't write it. Fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Russia and finding out firsthand what it's really like. And I've been asked, and will be asked more, why Russia? Why? And funnily enough, several days ago, Vladimir Putin answered that question better than I probably could. So
you can get to know Russia, a unique country with a long history and a rich culture. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Right guys, that'll do it for now. I will see you all very soon. Peace and love. Testing all the good stuff. What's happening? What's up? Do 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 do.